everyone, welcome to Enjoy English. I'm Steven.
I'm Minnie.
Today's date is October 16th. Please look at pages 32 to 33 under close test.
那我们今天课漏字的这个部分在32、33页。
Whenever you hear the word test, I always, I'm not a student anymore, but I still get kind of nervous.
Yeah, but I get a little excited.
But hopefully after our lessons, even if people feel that way, like they will know how to
我们
analyze
陪你一起。
the answers and it won't be as scary,
Yeah,
right?
totally fine.
All right. The title is, What Does Your Personality Smell Like?
Ew! What? 哎，从气味得知你的独特特性，你闻起来像什么？
What? Your personality has a smell? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I just would never have thought that.
Yeah.
Odor and personality go hand in hand.
对，所以他说气味 odor 是气味，跟你的 personality 个性 hand in hand 手牵手就是密切相关。
Right, so it's not literally hand in hand, right? Okay, let's find out more about how personalities can smell.
What does your personality smell like? Can you know someone's personality by the way they smell? A group of researchers tried to get some clues about how people may behave based on their body odor. Although the results weren't always accurate, they were similar to tests where people judged another's behavior after watching a video of them. In the study, researchers asked 60 people to wear plain white t-shirts for 3 nights straight. For these 3 days, they were not allowed to wear perfume or eat strong-smelling foods because these would affect their body odor. All 60 people were given a personality test before the experiment started. At the end of the 3 days, the shirts were put in bags and given to 200 testers who tried to determine the owner's personality from the smell of the shirts. The people smelling the shirts were able to guess if someone had a dominant, outgoing, or anxious personality. For example, people who are anxious may sweat a lot when they are stressed out, which may make them smell different. Although the results were interesting, more studies need to be done to confirm the relationship between odor and personality. First impressions may fool you. Instead of judging a book by its cover, try a different method, like taking a whiff.
Can you know someone's personality by the way they smell?
你可以从一个人的气味得知他的个性吗？
First, the thing I saw in this sentence is by the way.
By the way.
Right? So by the way does not necessarily always mean
By the way.
by the way, like you have something else to say. In this sentence, it means like by the way they smell.
他其实也可以说 Can you know someone's personality by their
Smell. By their smell, right? But by the way they smell means the same thing.
对
All right. A group of researchers tried to get some blank about how people may behave based on their body odor.
那我会整个句子翻译出来，那个 blank 我也会直接讲哈。他说，一组研究人员就是他们试图根据体味来获得一些关于人们行为的线索。
So when you say that someone behaves, okay, that has 2 different meanings, right? One meaning is you must behave.
你要乖。
要乖. The child is not behaving.
那个小孩不乖。
Right? But behave can also just be like how someone acts.
没错，那 behave 它也可以当作是行为的意思。act.
Like, oh, he's behaving strangely.
他行为怪怪的。
Yeah. Oh, he's behaving quite well. But usually when it's an adult, we don't say that in a positive way. Usually it's something negative.
对，通常讲到 behave 这个字都是要强调说他的行为怪异，他不太对劲的时候，我们才会说 behave。
Or in this sentence, it's saying behave based on their body odor. So it's very neutral, but it's usually we wouldn't say something like positive, like, oh, he behaves nicely, because that kind of shows that like they're like a child.
对，就有点高往低的那种讲法的感觉。
Right.
对，所以在这个句子它比较 neutral， 它比较中性，它没有所谓的好跟不好。
Right.
但是平常我们在用讲大人真的比较不会说好的，你说 他表现得很好，怪怪的。
And another way that you can see it is because it's a group of researchers looking at their subject, S-U-B-J-E-C-T, that can mean 主题, but in a research, that means that people that are being researched on.
受试者。
Yes. So because we're trying to see their behavior or what they're doing, that's why we're going to use the word behave.
Yes.
Okay? So let's take a look at those different options. So for number 1, A is fares. All right, this fare is like something that you usually pay for, like a bus fare.
费用。
Yeah, or train fare, right? So B is links, a connection, right? A connection.
连结。
So C is tasks,
任务。
a 任务 or piece of work that needs to be done. And D is clues.
线索。
线索. So I think we can just automatically say A is incorrect for sure. Like it's not, the group of researchers aren't trying to pay for something.
Yeah.
Right? B, I felt like it could be kind of like you're trying to find the link, right? The connection about how people can be and based off their personalities, how they smell. Is it a piece of work, a task? It doesn't seem like they're trying to complete a task.
No.
Right? And then D is like they're trying to get some clues, 一些线索 about how people behave. It is the best choice. But if you're caught between B and D, I think the best way is trying to see it like this. A group of researchers tried to get some they try to make some connections about how people. So the preposition before the word is also very important.
对.
You wouldn't get some connections. You would try to find some connections. So that's another way that you can try to make these sentences make sense, is that you have to look at the words around it, not just the meaning of the word.
所以在克漏字有一点很重要，是你要去看这一个空格的前面它的动词，它的 collocation。
Yeah.
然后还有看它后面的介系词，有时候这两者前后都会告诉你中间这个最好的答案是什么。所以刚刚老师有讲，感觉连结跟线索都可以，可是因为我们前面看到 get 这个动词，所以 get links 就怪怪的。
Yeah, yeah.
对，所以我们 get clue 就是比较正确。
我要取得一些连接，不是取得一些线索 makes more sense.
最好
Right. Although the results weren't always accurate, they were similar to tests where people judged another's behavior after watching a video of them.
所以尽管结果呢并不是accurate 就是准确但他们很接近人们在观看他人影片后判断他人行为的一个测试。
Right. So what is accurate? That means something that is no mistakes, that has no mistakes.
精准。
Right? So the opposite of accurate is inaccurate. I-N-A-C-C-U-R-A-T-E, inaccurate. So what do you do when you're judging someone? We do know a judge, if it's a noun, is someone that is in court, the person who's in the very front and goes like, order, or, that is a judge. But when it's used as a verb, it's when you are giving an opinion about something or someone.
评断
After much thought, right? So you're judged, like when people are judging another's. So here, another apostrophe S, what are we talking about? We're talking about another person.
Yeah, 其他人。
But because the way that we say it, we know that these people are judging another person's behavior. This author is just deciding not to use the word person and just using another apostrophe S to say another person's behavior. And after watching a video of them, this them is talking about the other person's behavior that they're trying to judge.
对，就是受试者的这些行为，这样。
Yeah, I just think it's always good to read the whole sentence and then try to find out what the sentence is about and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because when you see another's without like that person, another person's behavior, it could be confusing to many non-English speakers or people who are learning because you're used to having everything. Yeah, you're used to everything being said very specifically or straightforward. But sometimes there are parts like this in English where the author just doesn't want to keep writing person, people. So you have to assume that's what they mean.
其实真的多看就会变得很自然了啦。
Yes, it'll get easier as you do more practice and studying. Yes. All right, let's take a short break. In the study, researchers asked 60 people to wear plain white T-shirts for 3 nights blank.
那这项研究之中呢，研究人员要求60个人连续3个晚上都穿着纯白色的 T-shirt。
Right, and the first thing I want to talk about is not related to the options, but 60. All right, 60, I know it is spelled S-I-X-T-Y, But anywhere that's like 50, 40, like that number, it has a T, but we usually pronounce it more like a D. All right. So a lot of people sometimes when they're trying to say like 16, it'll sound like 60 because they go 60. And then they might close their mouth at the end, so it sounds like 16. So that sounds like 16, right? So to make it different, you have to say for 16, it's 16. I have that N sound at the end, and that T is hard. 16, but if it's 60, it's 60. Okay, and make sure you don't close your mouth. 60. All right, so that makes it a little bit easier. So what is a plain white t-shirt? They could have just said white t-shirt. But sometimes people, they might think a white t-shirt is like something that might have a little design here and there. It's a white t-shirt, but a plain white t-shirt means there's like nothing on it except the color white.
对，所以强调 plain white T-shirt 的时候，就包含它任何的印花都没有，可能连这一排扣子都没有，就是应该说都没有，就是完全纯白的，我们才可以叫 plain T-shirt.
So let's look at the options for number 2. So for 3 nights ahead, okay, grammatically 3 nights ahead, that would just mean like 3 nights
3天前
ahead of what though, right? So that could be an option grammatically, but let's look at the other options. 3 nights enough. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't say 3 nights enough. 3 nights straight, okay, that means that there's 3 days that are continuous with no breaks. Or 3 nights forward. We wouldn't say that either. Yeah, so it could only be 3 nights straight or 3 nights ahead, but ahead of what? There's no... If it,
它后面是句号了。
Right, so if there was more information behind that, like for they told these 60 people to wear plain white t-shirts for 3 nights ahead
research?
3 nights ahead of being tested on. Right. Then it could be 3 nights ahead. But because it ends at the end of the sentence, we know that it means 3 nights straight, right? Continuously with no breaks. So C is the only option.
没错。
For these 3 days, they were not allowed to wear perfume or eat strong-smelling foods because these would affect their body odor.
在这边呢，我们可以看到那个喷香水的那个喷啊，不是什么 spray 啊，不是什么，我们就直接用 wear 就可以了 ，wear perfume。然后呢，后来这边我们还有看到 these 这个代名词，对不对？它这边的 these 的就是香水或浓烈食物的这两件事情都可以叫 these。所以这一整句话，他说在这3天里面，他们不被允许喷香水或吃气味浓烈的食物，因为这些都会影响他们的体味。
So for these 3 days, the very beginning of this sentence, if they had just said for 3 days, that's not incorrect. But this word, that word there is talking about the 3 days that we're talking about in the previous sentence.
强调他们穿白色衣服这3天。
Exactly. Okay. Strong smelling. These are 2 words put together with a hyphen that makes it an adjective. Strong smelling foods. Foods that smell very strong. And then you see the word affect, A-F-F-E-C-T. Sometimes we also know the word effect, which is pronounced almost the same, E-F-F-E-C-T. The best way to remember that is when it's a verb, it's A-F-F-E-C-T. When it's a noun, it's E-F-F-E-C-T.
没错。
What is a body odor? An odor is just a particular smell. Usually it's a bad one, but not always, okay? So body odor, when you hear that, we automatically think it's like smelly. That's why when Minnie, when she first heard body odor, she went, ew, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we even abbreviate it to BO.
Yeah, BO.
Yeah, oh, I have strong BO. That means like it probably smells really bad, a very strong smell.
尤其是现在夏天，然后捷运上面哦。
Yeah. That's right.
所以我们要用什么 deodorant?
Deodorant, that's right. And deodorant is spelled D-E-O-D-O-R-A-N-T, right? All right, so let's continue. All 60 people were given a personality test before the blank started. So here we got A, accident. Has there been an accident? No. B, interview. Maybe some people are interviewed before an experiment. So let's just say B is a possibility.
Okay.
All right, C, experiment. Okay. And D is occasion, which is like a happening, like a party or something. All right, so even though interview could be, but since we know this is an experiment that researchers are looking at, C is probably the best choice, right?
对，所以对啊 ，so this sentence 这个句子它就是告诉你，实验开始前，这60个人全部接受了个性测试。
Exactly. At the end of the 3 days, the shirts were put in bags and given to 200 testers who try to determine the owner's personalities from the smell of the shirts.
好恐怖哦！所以他说，3天结束之后，这些衣服被装进袋子里面，然后交给200个测试者，他们试试看透过衣服的味道来判断主人的个性。
Right. So when you're determining something, you're trying to like decide something based off of something, right? So I'm trying to determine whether or not Minnie老师 likes me. So I'm trying to decide, I'm trying to use different ways to see, does she like me or not as a friend? Yes, she does. So I determine that she sees me as a friend because she smiles when she sees me. Okay, so that's his determine as a verb.
Yeah, 但如果你要说一个人他决心很坚定，你可以说 he is very determined，加上 d 就变形容词，形容人家的坚定。这个形容词
right? I'm very determined. That's right. Okay, so let's take a short break. The people smelling the shirts were able to guess if someone had a dominant, outgoing, or anxious personality.
所以这边有讲了3个。他说，闻衣服的人可以猜出某人的个性是否 dominant， 就是代表他很强势，或者是 outgoing 外向，或者是 anxious 焦虑。
Right. So the people smelling the shirts, we could have also have said the testers were able to guess. Right, but because the author is just kind of worried that maybe the readers might confuse the people who are giving the shirt smells and the ones who are smelling the shirt smells. So just to emphasize, the people smelling the shirts is easier for people to follow.
Yeah.
So what is a dominant personality? Minnie also did talk about the Chinese, but let's talk about that.
Yeah.
When someone is dominant, there's someone who is trying to dominate the situation, or they're trying to be in control of the situation. So dominant personalities are people who are, their personality is someone who likes to control the situation. They want to be the one that people follow, the one that people listen to. That's a dominant personality. The opposite of a dominant personality is someone who is more submissive, and that is submissive, a submissive personality. Now we have outgoing, right? So that is pretty straightforward. Someone who likes to go out, outgoing, they like to make friends. They like to be social.
Or you can also say like extroverted person.
You could say that they're extroverted.
就是所谓的 E 人跟 I 人嘛，对不对？
Yeah. So extrovert is EXTROVERT. And if it's adjective, you add an ED. And introverted, INTROVERT. Adjective, just add an ED. That's someone who doesn't like to go out.
内向的。
Right. So outgoing or anxious personality, someone who's always worried or nervous is someone who is anxious. For example, people who are anxious may sweat a lot when they are blank. All right, let's take a look at these. A, thrown out.
被丢出去。
Right, thrown out of your house. Okay. Well, I think that could cause people anxiety, right? But usually people aren't thrown out a lot. So I don't think that's a good choice. All right, B, stressed out. That's a pretty good option.
压力大。
Right? When you're stressed out, you might sweat a lot because you're anxious. How about knocked out?
knocked out 就是直接昏倒。
KO means you punch them and they fall unconscious. Doesn't seem like the right thing, right? And blocked out.
就被阻挡在外面。
Yeah, so I think the only possibility is stressed out.
Yeah, that's the best explanation, I think.
Right, so
对。
they may sweat a lot when they're stressed out, which may make them smell different. Okay, so this may means that there's a probability.
Yeah, 可能会使他们闻起来有不同。所以这一整句他就说，例如焦虑的人在 stress out 压力过大的时候会大量出汗，那这可能就会导致说他们的闻起来有不一样。
Right, and that's interesting because I do know some people when they sweat, they do give off an odor. Give off an odor means you like emit.
Yeah, 就是释放。
Yeah, emit. E-M-I-T 也是释放的意思。You might emit an odor, but some people don't have an odor at all. But it might be like you can't smell it at that moment, but maybe if it's been on the shirt for a while, maybe you can still smell something.
Or maybe it's just because you like 我有听过这个讲法，就是有人是对某些人的特定味道是没有这么敏感的。
Yeah, that is true too.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this test, as it says later on, is it's not always foolproof.
Yeah.
Foolproof, Foolproof. That means something that has no mistakes, no room
不是
for
完全
mistakes.
准确的啊。
So it's not foolproof, right? Although the results were interesting, more studies need to be done to confirm the relationship, blank, odor, and personality. Okay, so we have to choose a word that's going to go here. So we have between. Need to be done to confirm the relationship between odor and personality, or within odor and personality. Okay. Under odor and personality, or across odor and personality. Since it's comparing two things, usually the only preposition is between.
Yeah.
Right? Some people might be confused about across, because across, like you might
感
go
觉好像也 A 跟 B 可以连在一起的。
across a bridge. But whenever you have two, like an A and B thing, like you can't use the word across.
Yeah.
You could say, I'm going across the bridge, but you're going across the thing that's connecting them.
Yes.
You're not actually connecting them. You know? So that it could be confusing for some people, but just know that across is a preposition or adverb. That means from one side to the other, when you can see there's a clear limit, like you're going across an area of land, or you're going across a bridge, or a river, or a road.
所以 across 比较是用在说，我已经可以看到那个连在一起 A 跟 B 连在一起的东西，我只是要走过去。
Yeah.
对，但它没有那个连接的功能。
Yeah.
所以我们要有连接功能的话 ，A 跟 B 连在一起，我们会用 between， 是 between A and B 是最正确的。
Right.
对，所以这个句子他说，尽管结果很有趣，但仍需要进行更多的研究来证实气味跟个性之间的关系。所以就是 between 气味跟个性。
Right. And I do think some people might see more studies need to be done to confirm the relationship. They might see a lot of verbs. It might be very confusing, but just kind of break it up. They need to be done. So 他们必须要完成。为了什么呢？To confirm the relationship.
去确认这件事情。
Right. So it's always good to kind of stop right before each to kind of like make sure you understand what is being said.
就像我们中文，我们常常会很喜欢排比句，用3个很漂亮的成语，但是有时候3个连在一起看起来就压力很大，没关系，我们就是把它断成3段，看起来就会轻松一点。
Exactly. All right. First impressions may fool you.
Yeah, 第一印象可能会欺骗你哦。
Instead of judging a book by its cover, try a different method like taking a whiff.
OK， 所以与其 judging a book by its cover 就是以貌取人，那你可以尝试不同的方法，例如像闻一闻吧。
Take a whiff 就是只是闻一下，这样子 take a whiff. Okay. Take a smell 跟 take a whiff is almost the same meaning, but a whiff sounds shorter.
对，比较短快的感觉，瞬间的。
Like that. Right. And then don't judge a book by its cover in Chinese is 人不可貌相，海水不可斗量。
对，哇，
Don't judge a book by its cover. And I really like that saying. It's something that you should learn as well. All right. Hopefully today we have helped you guys to not be as anxious when you're taking a test that has multiple choice.
Yes.
Hopefully it'll be a lot easier next time. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.